name is Julie, and welcome to Healthy Talks. On today's episode, we are with Chloè McGinty, who is an EMT and sports massage therapist, amongst other things. Hi, Chloe. Welcome to Healthy Talks. How are you doing today?
Hey Jules, thank you for having me. As you can hear, I'm a little bit under the weather, but we still move. Work doesn't
Yes,
stop. Yeah.
that definitely doesn't. So, Chloe, tell me a bit about your background, why you got into sports massage therapy and EMT.
So, as a very in-depth background, growing up, my mother used to work at the Christian Barnard Memorial Hospital. And for the first 5, 6 years of my life, I spent in that hospital with her. And it got me really interested in the medical field. And then on the other hand, my father was a rep for a pharmaceutical company. And my grandparents used to own a pharmacy. So through there, medical was a very big part of my life and medicine.
Yes.
Then growing up, as I have an older brother as well, going into school, we started playing a lot of sports. I got into the boys' sports as well. So cricket, soccer, hockey. I just did everything where I can run into people and just be a mess. For some reason, I actually had a bit of talent in that. And I got
Mm.
further up, got into clubs, got into different teams, and that started my sports and athletic career. And through that, I just persevered, got further, and I ended up just colliding the two because I am so fascinated by the medical field and about how the human body works and how the human body functions. So
Mm.
from there, I ended up finding a field and a job that I really enjoy, that I'm super passionate about, which is my sports massage therapy, where I'm able to use my knowledge that I have gained as an athlete and as growing up through people in the medical field and applying it into my patients and my clients.
And tell me, how does your experience as an EMT influence your approach to sports massage therapy?
So I am a level 1 EMT, which is just your basic first aider. Though I am wanting to go further into it and hopefully go up to my level 3, if possible level 4.
Mhm.
With that, it is super important. So as a sports massage therapist, I deal with a lot of injuries and potential injuries. So when it comes to understanding a pulled muscle, ligament, injury of a bone, or anything that's restricting the human body for natural movement, that assists me in my job as a massage therapist in order to help my patient to be able to correct those movements.
And what are the most common injuries or issues that you've encountered as a sports massage therapist?
Oh, the most common thing. So, best thing to keep in mind, you don't have to be an athlete to come to a sports massage
Mm.
therapist at all. You don't have to be. The biggest thing that I have seen though is most of my patients come into me with lower back pains. Keep in mind, I have a range of um, clients or patients that come in. It could be people that just work in an office that want tension release, or it could be like powerlifters, triathletes, marathon runners, and majority of them all come in with the same thing. And the reason why is because a lot of them don't know how to take care of their lower
Mm.
body, and because of their lower body strain, that puts more strain onto their lower back. And that's typically the main injuries that I will see. It is lower back injuries, like tight hips, so their hip
Mm.
flexors are very tight as well. So restriction of movement and walking and running, bending the legs can be very difficult for them as well. And yeah, that is the common injuries that I encounter.
And with you also being a sports coach and personal trainer, how do you integrate your knowledge of sports massage therapy into your conditioning programs to enhance athletic performance and recovery?
So the way my brain works is your muscles are made out of striations. It's like elastic rubber bands. And the way I coach and I train people is first I figure out what their goal is. And from there, we go into a screening process. So, what can my athletes do and not do? So, what exercises work for them, what don't work for them, what actually enhances what they want and what doesn't. And then from there, we work on how the striations of the muscles are working. So when you're exercising, certain striations pull, and that's when they break, and that's how your muscles build and get stronger. And then from
Mhm.
there, that's where I kind of make the decision of which exercises to do to build certain striations.
How do you Also, with being a sports coach, how do you balance the physical and mental aspects of coaching to ensure your athletes are well-rounded and prepared?
I coach I coach typically anyone. Currently I'm coaching high school girls. And as you know, with girls and in high school, very emotional, boyfriend, studies, everything's going on for them. The way I work with them is I have a very open approach.
Mm,
I'm not much older than my girls, so I do say to them, like, ladies, you can come and tell me anything, speak to me however you want when you're telling me, because I'm not going to put you in trouble. If something's wrong, I want to know so you can feel better and feel comfortable in your training session. I always have a very open approach with all of them. If there is any negativity between two people on the team, sort it out immediately and just have everybody in a happy and comfortable environment. Because when your mental health has a massive effect on your physical health. If you mentally are not okay, your physical performance will be heavily impacted and you
mm.
will not be able to perform at the peak that you should be performing at.
Enjoying this episode? Ever thought of starting your own podcast? Podup.com is your go-to. They've got everything you need to run a pro show, including 35 or more AI-powered tools for success. Sign up today for a free starter account and get 15% off with the code HealthyTalks15. The code is HealthyTalks15. Plus, check out podallies.com for a done-for-you podcasting experience, complete with website, social media, and editing. Start now and let's launch your podcast together.
So always try and integrate the two and make sure that my goals are at sound in mind to be able to perform at their personal best. I have encountered many accidents before. Some I've just walked into and it's appeared in front of me. There was an incident when I was working at a pump track and a boy on a BMX up one of the hills. And when he came down, he never came back up. He ended up breaking his collarbone, fracturing his jaw, fracturing his arm, blood everywhere. A massive problem with him. There was a whole bunch of injuries. I can't remember everything. But the first thing to do is just stay calm, make sure the area is clear, so get everyone away. From there, contacted his parents, assessed him. He was okay, just needed to calm him down. He did have a concussion, which was very visible to myself and my colleague at the time.
Mm.
We just calmed him down, we tried calling ambulances to come pick him up and called his parents at the same time. Ambulances didn't show up for over an hour,
Sure.
where I had to call my private company to get an ambulance to us because it was that bad. He couldn't move. Um, Other than that, when it comes to other injuries, like I've had dislocated shoulders. Um, Working at a gym, I've had someone have a heart attack once before as well. And the best thing I can say to anyone who's in that kind of situation where there's an injury or
Mm.
medical emergency is take a deep breath, make sure you are okay, and then think what is the next possible thing to do to help this person. If you don't know what to do, how can I help this person?
Mm. What kind of skills are essential for a first responder, for a level one EMT or a sports massage therapist? Like, what do you feel like is essential skills to have?
For a medical responder, a very essential skill to have is you need to be calm.
Mm.
You need to be able to handle your own emotions. If you let your emotions take over, then you're not going to be able to think clearly. You need to be calm to be able to make a rational decision on what your next step is going to be because things can happen very quickly and you don't know what the next step is. Like example, we had someone having a heart attack. That's
Mhm.
an internal problem that, say, for someone like myself, I can't deal with. I don't know what to do when someone's having a heart attack. The only thing to do is call response. So it's remain calm, make sure that person is in the right recovery position, is the procedures are being followed, and calling the right medical responses to come and assist if you are not qualified for that. A sports massage therapist, I see it a lot with people in many different fields when it comes to the sports medical field. Uh, you can always know what to do, but it's more of a practical thing that you're doing. You're physically touching someone, putting your energy into theirs, your strength onto their muscles and their ligaments and their tendons on their body. So you need to know how the muscle striations work, how to work with someone and their body because each person is different. So you need to adapt your style into what makes your patient comfortable and what works with your patient. And if their body's reacting positively or negatively, adjust what you are doing to assist your patient.
How do you deal with your own emotional, psychological stress?
So for myself personally, I, for many, many years, have suffered with depression and anxiety. Um, the way I handle that is one, physical exercise. Physical training is proven to improve mental health, though it also is a catch-22 because if you are mentally in a really bad place and you try and train, it's not going to work. You kind of need to regress that quite a bit. Um, so that I find is a massive benefit. It releases a lot of dopamine for me and makes me feel better about myself and I feel good, I'm happy. Another way that I manage my stress is I think about it and I ask myself the questions, okay, why am I feeling this way? So by asking if I'm anxious, I ask myself why am I anxious and I dissect it. By dissecting it, I can find the answer to why, and then I kind of bring myself to reality a bit of why I'm stressing. So anxiety is overthinking, essentially. It is taking yourself from a realistic point of view into unrealistic. Now, it may still be realistic, but it's exaggerated. So it's bringing yourself from to a unrealistic, exaggerated section back into reality and realizing, okay, cool, this could happen, but it's not going to happen because of this, this, and this. It's all about understanding how your brain works, understanding your own emotions, and that's the biggest thing is you need to understand how you think in order to help yourself.
No, definitely. And for my last question, is just do you have any tips or advice for anyone who wants to go into sports massage therapy?
I learned a lot of physiology. That's my biggest thing. Make sure you understand physiology. If you want to go into sports massage therapy, my biggest thing is to understand how the body moves and how it works. So all the biomechanics of the body. Your body reacts to certain movements of the biomechanics. So to understand the biomechanics, you can understand how injuries are caused. And then from there, to understand how it's caused, you'll be able to understand how to prevent it or how to fix it.
Okay, perfect. Well, Chloe, thank you so much for joining us on Healthy Talks. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And for our listeners out there, remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Healthy Talks.